the Mifflin Bulldogs. We the Mifflin Bulldogs. We the Mifflin Bulldogs. We the Mifflin Bulldogs.
Mifflin. Mifflin Bulldogs gon' fight to the end. Bulldogs through all the competition.
Good morning, Mifflin Middle School. This is Miss Colson, your principal, and today is Monday, February 8th, 2021, and it is a marvelous Monday, and you guys are probably like, wow, she is actually coming to us at 8 o'clock on a Monday. So I'm kind of slowing down. I'm getting these interviews done because it is Black History Month, and it's been a lot of fun interviewing individuals for them to talk to us about their HBCU experience. I appreciate all the students that responded to the question to tell me what an HBCU stands for, Historically Black College and University. So I had a ton of students last week email me their responses. So I replied back to you. Don't forget to email Mr. M to figure out what day and time you can come up here and pick up your prize, or we can mail it to you. Also, don't forget, students, this week we have parent-teacher conferences. It's February 10th and February 11th. I will send out a separate email, parents, and a phone dollar letting you know that parent-teacher conferences is going to take place February 10th and February 11th with those times. And then also on Friday of this week, we got a very busy week. On this Friday, we are going to have our second quarter honor roll celebration. So stay tuned for more details. Okay, so let's get right to it. This Monday, we are going to highlight Morgan State University. And so let's tune in to my interview. Hello, Mifflin Middle School. We are coming back to you again. And as you know, for the month of February, we are highlighting a different HBCU each day. And today I have a longtime friend, Mr. Peace. We've known each other my whole entire career. We met at Windsor at first year teachers, and he is now in the middle school world, but he also attended a HBCU. So I'm going to let Mr. Peace tell you a little bit about himself.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, young ladies and gentlemen of Mifflin Middle School. My name is Arthur Peace, and I teach at the Arts Impact Middle School. I teach 8th grade science there, and as Ms. Colson has stated, we are very old in the game, that is. Now that they're over 25. In addition to teaching middle school science, I coach girls volleyball there. I coach girls basketball last year, and I also have been coaching track for quite some time at Ames, 6 years now, and previously at Sherwood.
Okay. So tell us why you chose an HBCU, or why did the HBCU choose you?
Well, the HBCU chose me because in addition with some help from my mother and father, I knew I had to be productive. They weren't necessarily kicking me out of the home, but I had to be productive. Hardworking family wants to produce hardworking children and students. I chose Morgan State because, to be honest, I didn't want to go that far from home. I didn't really know much about schooling after high school. It's just not how our high school was set up as far as our interaction with the colleges. So I kind of found out on my own what that would be like, leaving high school, moving on to the next step of my education if I wasn't going to the military or picking up a trade.
So tell the kids, where is Morgan State, and then tell us about your experiences at Morgan State.
Okay, Morgan State University is in Baltimore, Maryland, southeast of Columbus, Ohio. My experience with Morgan State was an intimate one. I lived 10 minutes from campus with my parents coming up. So I crossed Morgan, I've seen their bands and parades and all of these things. But also Morgan State will bring out students to volunteer at our elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and that kind of stuck with me. In addition, some of my friends were older, my cousins as well. Some of my female cousins went to Morgan, and just listening to them talk about their professors, being around people who looked like them, who understood their walk of life, if you will, that was appealing to me. My high school experience wasn't so much the same outside of my peers, so I wanted to go somewhere to be guided and led by people that may have had the same or similar experiences to me. That's what really drew me to Morgan. Now, once I got there, you get to deal with all the extracurricular with school.
So, what advice would you give a middle school student when you talk about long-term and preparing for college and choosing the right school?
First and foremost, I would tell them, take your time. Don't take too much time. We're grown, and I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. You have a little bit of time to figure out what you want to do. But once you do figure that out, you take these, don't limit yourself to one university. I moved here, and my experience with students was all they knew was the Ohio State. Obviously, you're from Columbus, but just explore. There are more than one HBCUs. Yes, Morgan is the best, hands down. But, there's hundreds of them, and when you do your homework on those universities, you find out how many great people came through those halls and those doors and kind of led the way for us to become great in our own right. So I guess the takeaway from that is look at each and every option that you have, because there's plenty of them. Financial, money is going to come into play. Ultimately, you want to get through college with as little debt as possible, or none. And you have to compare the scholarships that those schools are offering, and their guidance counseling departments are there to guide you. But you have to take a little bit of time to request that information and research it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Peace, for taking time out of your busy schedule to have an interview with me to educate our students on the experience of attending an HBCU and why they should attend an HBCU. So if you want to know a little bit more, students, about Morgan State University, you don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can talk to Mr. Peace anytime, but do your homework. Like he said, do your own research. So stay tuned for another HBCU interview.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that interview. It was a lot of fun. Mr. Peace, he is a teacher here in Columbus City Schools. He's like a brother to me. We first started teaching together at Windsor Elementary way back in the day. He's from Baltimore, Maryland. And so I hope you took some notes. Once again, I hope you're paying attention to all of these interviews and taking some notes to write down, what can I do to start planning now for my future when considering a college or university? So stay tuned, students, for our next HBCU interview tomorrow. And remember, most importantly, everyone achieves, no exceptions, no excuses. Have a marvelous Monday.